We're ready. We are live. We are live. Welcome to a special Monday session with me, Camilla Kalberg, and Alessa Morgan. Welcome, Alessa, to this special event.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here, Camilla. Thank you.
This event or this conversation is sponsored by Happiness is Real sponsors, and we're all leading up to the amazing conference that we're hosting on Saturday, which is called Happiness is Real: How to Thrive Before, During, and After Divorce. With me, I have five distinguished women, and one of them are you, Alessa, and I am so happy that you are here with me today, so you can also talk about your topic or your special area of what do you call it? Your speciality.
Yes. Mhm. Yes, thank you so much. I am really excited about the event that's going to be happening this Saturday. I am privileged to be surrounded by amazing, incredibly talented women. Each one of them is an expert in their respective niche and really excited about this. So thank you for allowing me to be part of this, Camilla.
Mm.
And my area of expertise is wellness, in physical wellness that is aligned with emotional wellness, emotional eating, and different ways of taking care of ourselves.
Mm.
So, one of the main topic of the Happiness is Real event is going to be for women who are overcoming divorce or coming out of difficult toxic relationships. And that's where the topic of wellness is sometimes pushed to the back burner because women coming out of those kinds of relationships are not always taking time for themselves. And very often they are coming out of a relationship in an environment that is full of stress, full of worries, full of things that need to be taken care of. There is lack of stability, lack of security, and very often in these circumstances, it's difficult for us to find time for ourselves. What is your experience with that, Camilla?
Oh yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. And exactly that's the reason why we first connected. And I love your areas been of your niche. And I said, okay, wish I had a wellness coach when I was going through divorce, because my experience was that, and we have had various conversations on that. I exercised a lot, and sometimes I maybe did a little bit of overeating. I love chocolate, and maybe I opened a bottle of wine. Not that I was drinking the whole bottle in one go, but I was emotionally eating. So let's at least celebrate me. That was kind of thing, and then not eating so much chocolate, but I was exercising, and I just couldn't understand why I was not getting any slimmer. And so I wish I had a wellness coach on my team who could actually tell me how my body reacted. I knew how my body reacted, like mentally and so kind of physically, emotionally, but actually, and then we've also talked about it offline. It's like my coach told me so many times, Camilla, make sure that you get time for yourself. And I call it me time. When I talk to my clients, I call it me time. And I was so bad. I admit, I was so bad and allowing myself me time. And that was really trick. It was a catch. I just felt so guilty every time I kind of got my someone to babysit my daughter, but I so much needed that. And sometimes it was just kind of really not having that time drained me from energy.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing about this. But this is something that is very common. And the what happens is that when our brain inconsistently is in stress mode, or also known as fight or flight response, our brain functions very differently than it does when we are calm and we can make logical decisions based on reasoning and past experiences. And because of this stress, of course, there's also this play with hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And when you have too much cortisol in your body, it is very difficult to lose weight because cortisol has a direct correlation with insulin. When one hormone goes high, the other one follows it. So people in stressful situations, women going through a divorce or coming out of toxic relationships, usually things like wellness is not something that is a priority. The priority is to get through what you're going through. The priority is to get the hell out and close the door, and then what? And then you come to a place where you create a transition into the next chapter of your life. And this is where wellness comes into place, because sometimes as we exit one chapter, we take a look back, and we also take a look at ourselves and where we are and where we would like to be. And very often, the topic of wellness is limited to diet and exercise, but it's so much more than this. Diet and exercise is just a very, very, very small fraction of what wellness really is about. And well, where wellness really begins is your emotional wellness, is prioritizing yourself, creating the rituals of self care, treating yourself maybe in ways you haven't been treating yourself before for a very, very long time, because your main priority was survival. And this is something that I have witnessed in work with clients, in my personal experiences, over and over again.
Oh, it just, and that's why I love you. I love your nation. That's why I say we're gonna work together when we have this event, because we're supporting women. Like, I've been through that. You haven't been through the relation make marriage breakup yourself, but you've been in this toxic relationship breaking free, and we know on our own bodies how important it is to get help. And so then when you say start, when we first connected, I was thinking about overeating or dieting and exercise. I no, it's small, it's much more. And it's about the emotional thing of it and the wellness. So maybe we'll just broaden that. The wellness, it's the entire thing of how we feel. Do you agree with me on that?
Absolutely, 100%. It's how we feel, but it's also how we choose to build ourselves in a way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you decide to change something in your life, when you start looking in the mirror, and when you notice how you talk to yourself, is it positive self-talk, is it negative self-talk, when you start noticing what coping mechanisms you developed from years of being in survival mode. And for some people, those coping mechanisms are going to be food, because food is one of the quickest ways for our brain to generate pleasure. For other people, it's going to be maybe excessive exercise, maybe alcohol, maybe too much time with screens, with TVs, with all kinds of addictions, just to kind of numb yourself. And I have worked with many, many clients for whom food became a way of numbing themselves through the emotional pain that they were experiencing. So that's why when it comes to wellness, it is important to address emotional pain first. And especially when you're coming out of a very difficult situation, and depending on where you are, sometimes exercise may not be the best first step. Sometimes the best first step is to look within and actually find out what you are looking to create and why.
But that's, again, it just resonates so much with me. And when you say that, maybe exercise not the first thing you should do to create wellness. And I was just thinking, because a lot of flashbacks going back as we talk, and at some point I'm gonna show different pictures of me in the stage of
Mm.
divorcing, before really realizing, going through, and then now. And I would say that I look like when I was before I went into that relationship. So the emotional well-being, you could literally, when I share those pictures of it, you can see what state I'm in. And I say it's quite frightening to see the loss of spark. I had no spark, I have no smile. And then when I said, I thought when I was, there was some pictures that say, this is the best smile I could ever do. I said, Jesus, it's like, but you don't experience that. So my question to you, I'm so curious, Alessa, how do people, women, kind of get to the kind of the crossroads, say, now I need to do something with my emotional wellness, and then they reach out to you?
Yeah, so usually it's the realization that the old way of doing things haven't worked. I think every single client that I've worked with have been on diets or repetitive diets time after time after time. And sometimes they reach a point where wellness or the idea of wellness is associated with the feeling of terror, with this daunting feeling like, oh, I have to exercise and eat broccoli again. And it's very difficult to create change from this negative place. So,
Impossible, kind of.
yes, yes, because and especially if women are trying to create change out of hatred for their body, or the hatred the way they look, or lack of self-acceptance. Um, it's understandable and normal to be going through this. I think all of us have gone through this at one point or another, and some of us are still struggling with those feelings about ourselves occasionally. We're all learning, growing, and evolving. But essentially, it's when women recognize that they are looking for something different than just a standard approach of being told, yes, go exercise 3 times a week. Well, is this really a solution? We all know what is good for us. We all have enough information about what to eat, what not to eat, movement, sleep, light, being in nature. We know those things. But the question is, how do we get ourselves into a place where we actually change our behavior, where we change our patterns, where we learn to create time for ourselves, where we learn to incorporate self care and really redefine what wellness is for us? And the amazing thing is that women come to me with, for example, a goal to decrease their weight or some kind of weight management goal. But what the conversations always revolve around are things that are so much more deeper and meaningful than just how much you weigh. And very often, the outcomes of those coaching sessions were for women to reconsider their boundaries and maybe create brand new boundaries for themselves as they are stepping into this new version of themselves and their lives.
Oh, tell me more about, and I think we're also the our listeners would like to make you curious. I'm curious when you say redefining boundaries. What boundaries could that be?
Yeah, so very often we are finding ourselves in toxic relationships and our boundaries become blurrier and blurrier and they basically dissipate. We are no longer in a safe environment, physically or emotionally, to stand up for ourselves. And it's very difficult to express ourselves when we do not feel safe.
Mm. Oh yeah, but that's I want to say that I know. I know from myself. I know from my clients that you cannot change anything from the place of being unsafe. You have to feel safe, and it's also the same when people come to me or reach out to me. It's like we may see a kind of the top of the iceberg, like you
Mhm.
mentioned about losing weight, but it's actually it's rooted much, like several layers deeper than what we actually think is the root cause for not feeling well or for struggling whatever we are going through divorce and he's always he also wants to be right blah, 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 but actually it may come down to lack of self-love, our how we were how we grew up, the messages we got from our mom and dad. There's a lot of subconscious wisdom we now have and carry
Mhm.
on with us that may be preventing us and most likely prevent us from really living the life that we want.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure this is something that you Camila, are dealing with a lot in your work with with others, just helping them to create safety for themselves in places where safety wasn't before.
Yeah, exactly. And I was saying with safety, it's like safety from the perspective, just actually feeling at ease and at peace with yourself, and then you dare to. I actually, it was very interesting because I did I think I did a talk last week or the week before about the um, fear the unknown.
Yeah.
And that's also about it being safe or unsafe. If we are safe, we dare to fear the we don't fear the unknown, but we actually embrace the unknown, and then we become the creator of our future. But if we have been in this toxic environment for so long, we are unsafe. We walk on eggshells, and we are constantly on the alert. And then we only thing we know is to stand where we are and then look back. We don't dare
Mhm.
to move forward. And then, but then, if we don't dare to look forward, we are not able to create.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And being in an environment, as you have described, walking on eggshells, always watching out for what you say, what you share, how you come across, how how your partner is going to respond to it. What do you have to watch out for? Do you have to worry for the kids? Do you have to worry about this? Um, in addition to eliminating safety, some very often women also lose trust in themselves.
Yeah, and that is across kind of see all aspects of going through a divorce, and then being in a toxic relationship and breaking free from that, is
Yeah.
that you have to, and I just really lost the word, but you have to love yourself. You have to be at balance and at peace, right,
Mhm.
in order to move forward and trust yourself. I really have to trust yourself. But when you've been in this toxic relationship where you're just being called names and not really being told how great you are and how worthy of love you are,
Yeah.
then you lose trust in yourself, that you just think you're hopeless and whatever. But is that not actually, that is actually not the truth.
That is
Uh,
not the truth, yes. And there is so, I mean, I have been in those situations, and my heart absolutely goes out to every single person who is going through this, because sometimes it is difficult to find good and kind words for ourselves when we don't hear them in our environment, where all we hear is criticism. And as we said previously, where you just have to be extra careful with everything you say and do.
yeah. So, what would be one of the questions you would ask one of your clients if I would say, I want to lose weight, I've been this, I'm stressed, I don't know, whatever. Um, where would you start?
Usually it starts with, well, I guess the reason to do it is the first one.
Mm,
And a reason, or like their why, essentially. And a reason plays a huge part. Very often people say, oh, I want to incorporate wellness into my life to be healthy. Well, healthy sounds good, but it does not create the emotional pull for people to actually achieve their goals. It's more along the lines of to be healthy so that I can do the actual goals, so that I can fully be there for my children, so that I can actually love my body and live the life of my dreams, so that I can get to experience things I have been denying to myself through the years of this emotional trauma and being in a toxic relationship.
mm,
So and also we explore with people that I work with, we always explore what wellness really is to them. That is a very big topic, and sometimes, and it's not a question that people often think about, what is wellness, but the most important question is what wellness is to you, not just what is wellness in general,
yeah.
but what does it mean to you. And it's important, if one is looking to create change, it's important to find your own resonance with what you want to create in your life. Just because you heard some fitness guru say something or read a book about something, that's not really going to create a change. You're just educating yourself on how someone else does it.
Mm,
But how do you align yourself with your goals, with what you want to create, and how you want to feel emotionally and physically on a day-to-day basis.
You are such an angel that you just embarked, or you haven't, but you are in this niche because it's such an important topic. So wellness is not just going to the spa, but actually the emotional wellness. So how do we want to live our life? I may read a book and it inspires me to do something, but with your help, you will help me peel the onion, actually find out what goals do I really want to achieve in life that will help me live my life the way I wanted to live. What is why I'm here, and how do I want to, what goals really are so important for me, and which I most likely have denied pursuing, pausing because of this being this toxic relationship, going back to like not trusting yourself, walking on eggshells, and you're playing small. I played small for so many years, pausing. I knew my goals, but I was pausing on achieving my goals because I was serving or trying to serve and please other people's needs.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's the important time period whenever you are creating a transition from one version of yourself into another version of yourself. And women that I work with, there are so many struggles, especially if they have been in a very long marriage that was toxic. One of my most recent clients, her marriage was over 20 years. And it's so difficult to rewire yourself after 20 years of conditioning. And the concept that sometimes gets missed is that any change starts with understanding yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what you and I help.
Yeah, and I was just that resonated so much. I just say any change starts from within, and it's
Yes.
just there's that because it does. And I think also maybe you is like at least what I experienced that clients say, but it's they look at the external world why things are not working.
Mhm.
For example, going back to boundaries when they've been washing out, washed out. It's like you have to take back control. Like who do you want to become? What are your life values? And
Yeah.
it's all about you, and we forget so much about it's all about you. And we are, and I was talking to someone else, I can't remember, and we speak with so many amazing women these days, right? But it's all about kind of reclaiming our control and take back control. We know now the masculine and feminine energy. Now the feminine energy is to give and being grateful and gratitude, but still it's about knowing what we want in life and what our purpose in life is. And that's just we're coming together, and we are helping all the women who suffer now to live an even better life than what they come. And that's why we do this conference on Saturday, because it is so important. And so we have you on stage. We'll talk about the wellness, and we give some more tips. And for me, in my area, I'm based in Europe. If at least what I know to be true is that it's I don't even have the word right now. It's an under. I would say, well, it's not a topic we talk so much about the
Mhm.
wellness, emotional wellness. We don't talk about that so much. And I'm so happy that we connect. And you were overseas, you're based in the US, but we connected. And that's why we're building the bridge of helping women thrive. And it's not only as I do, helping them going plan divorce and how to thrive and how they want to live, but certainly also the emotional part of where you come in, and we have other people on the financial things. There's a lot of elements that support to thrive before and after the divorce. So it's a lot of puzzle. There's a big puzzle here, and we should not forget each what do you call it? What do you call it? Each thing in the puzzle. I got
Each piece of the puzzle. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes,
Exactly.
absolutely, absolutely. And it is very exciting to be part of this project. And I'm so grateful to you for organizing and putting this together. And I love the idea of gathering all of us, me talking about wellness, someone else talking about the psychology or the legal aspect or the leadership, or just how you create this transition for yourself when you're going through this very, very difficult time. And you get to ask yourself a lot of questions you really never had time for prior to that. And really, how do you recreate yourself? How do you get into a place of doing this? How do you prioritize and just find the resources for yourself that you have been denying to yourself for a very, very long time?
Yeah. Alessa, we're just about up the hour. I say I'm so thankful that we could catch up this early morning in Miami time, and because it's such an important thing. What you do is so important, and wellness on how you help women integrate wellness into their lives after having maybe also before, but actually integrating wellness and having time for like what I call it me time. It's so important. So I'm thriving and I'm rocking to do this on
Yes.
today and on Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Yes, thank you very much, Camila, once again. And I cannot wait to share everything that we can give to the women going through these times this Saturday, February the
Mm.
19th.
Yeah. So remember, those who are listening either live on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, remember to buy your pass at www.happinessisreal.com. Go and get your ticket, and there'll be live coaching, and we have some Q&A afterwards. Don't miss this event if you want to create a better life. And it starts, if not today, it starts on Saturday, where we'll be live coached by 6 amazing women, and you get inspired that you can do your change as well. It's just there. You just need to jump on board and be inspired. So I think with this, let's say we'll connect again soon. And thanks very much to all of you who tuned in on this channel. I'll be live again tomorrow. Now I think with a Q&A. I've kind of been postponing the Q&A about the conference because so many great speakers lining up. So but stay tuned to my channel and remember to buy your ticket at www.happinessisreal.com. Have a beautiful rest of the day and lovely to have you on board. And we will I was just to say something else, but we'll create impact on Saturday, Alessa.
Yes, see you Saturday.
Yeah, cheers. Bye.
Bye.